Hello and welcome to another nutrition session with me, Chris, for Don't Sit, Get Fit. Today's session we are going to do portion sizes. This is quite a fun interactive session. If you can, please, what we're after from you guys at home, we're after you guys to have a couple of pieces of A4 bits of paper, just in case we make mistakes, a pen or a pencil, colouring pencils if you want it, and then what you've got in the fridge, one portion of protein, a couple of portions of carbohydrates, and any leftover veg or fruit, whatever you've got. And we're going to talk about portion sizes and portion sizes for you guys. Go get your stuff. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to portion sizes. Today's session, we will hopefully allow you guys to go away from this with an idea of how to portion size the right meal or a meal for you and for you only. That is the difference between parents and children. So my portion size will be different to my wife's portion size, who's behind the camera, and I'll show you that a bit later on. But we're going to show you, just using these food items I have here, how to measure the right portion for you and for you only. So I'm going to measure a portion of protein using bits of chicken, a portion of carbohydrates from my sweet potato, and a portion of vegetables from my leftovers earlier on. Now, a question for you guys at home: how do I measure a portion of carbohydrates using my hands? Anybody know? Yes, exactly. We use our fists. So I'm going to show you now how we're going to measure this, or how we're going to measure it, but also how we're going to draw around it and draw around it properly so you get a really good idea of how much you're allowed, and I don't want anyone not having enough. All right, so we're going to move these out of the way. First thing first, I'm going to get my A4 bit of paper, and I'm going to fold it in half. This will then allow us to open the paper up and give us a good idea of the comparison between the two or three portion sizes that we need to use. So I'm going to use a pen for this one, just so it'll probably come out a bit clearer on camera. So you're going to clench your fist like so, thumb will stay out, and you want to make sure that it's a flat-ish surface to the floor, to the paper. So I'm going to place my hand down. Then, from here, where your wrist bends, and the joint, you can feel it click sometimes, you're going to place it down, keep the pen nice and upright. You're going to start at the side, so the camera comes over the top. You can come around here a bit if you want to, camera. Don't get too close, back up a touch. And then we're going to keep this nice and upright. We're going to draw around our fists like so. And then finish at the bottom. Now, when I take my hand away, I've got a really good outline of my fist. And then I'm just going to do dot to dot at the bottom, like so. Then I'm going to label it. And this is going to be a portion of C-A-R-B-S, a portion of carbs. So, with carbohydrates, we know we can have potato, we can have rice, we can have pasta, we can have some cereal, and we can have, what else? We can have bread as well. Now, with this in mind, just for today's purposes, we're going to use potatoes. Now, with potatoes, these are non-cooked, solid sweet potatoes. We are going to place this inside my fist like so. So as you can probably see, if the camera comes over the top and goes a little bird's eye view, that's probably not enough for me at the moment. Let's see if I can fit another one in. Wicked. I reckon that'll fit, and if I move that in properly, those two will fit, and that will be a really nice portion for me as an individual of carbohydrates. All right, so that could go potentially, if we just put this on our plate, why not, so you get a better idea. I don't think I could probably fit another one in. That'd probably be a bit too much. Maybe if I cut that in half or lengthways, I could fit it in. But we're going to stick for two today. So I can stick it on my big plate like so. Now that is a portion of my carbohydrates. That is for me and for me only. That would be different for children. Now, for my wife who's behind the camera, hers is a little bit smaller. Probably significantly smaller. Look at the size of that. Very small. And then very large. So there are differences in between me and my wife. So she should not be having the same size as me, just to let you know. Isn't that right, darling? Thank you. So I'll put that back. So then we have to measure another one, which is a good source of protein. Main reason being it's a good source of repair for your muscles as well, and also help with growth. So I'm going to use this chicken that we've got for the dog. But for how do we measure protein? Does anybody know? That's the question I need to ask you guys. Anybody know? Anybody, just shout it out to me. Give it a, go on, louder. Brilliant, yeah, absolutely, we use our palm. So we use this bit, this chunky, meaty bit of our hand. And that is how we're gonna measure it. So what we're gonna do, same principles apply, we're gonna draw around our hands. So, with this one, fingers will always stay together. Now what I've done is I've done it on the other side of my carbohydrates. Fingers will always stay together. Thumb will always come out. Now my hands actually are quite big on this bit of paper. But it's not going to matter because we're going to start in the same place at your wrists. Draw around our fingers which will stay together and round our thumb, and then I'll show you what to do next. So we're going to go draw around. Draw around your thumb and to your wrist. Now, our palm is this chunky bit in the middle. At the bottom of this index finger, you're going to put a little dash. At the bottom of your pinky finger, your little one, you're going to put a little dash as well. And then inside your thumb, outside your thumb. Now, once we've done that, when you take your hand away, you'll get this remaining. So we are then going to dot it at the bottom. Make sure that's secure. Chop your thumb off. And then you can squiggle it out. You can use colour if you need to. Then, with the line across, if you look at your hands, pardon my hands are a bit disgusting, but your hands never go straight across, never a dead line. It's always slightly arced. So we're going to go slightly, very slightly, up to the top. Now, when you label this, you label this protein. Underline if you need to. And we know that comes from meats. We know it comes from eggs. We know it comes from beans. And then we can have any alternatives. So things like you can have tofu, you can have corn, or other sources of protein. So don't forget to use the fingers out for now. Brilliant. So then, when it comes to this bit of chicken, so I come to the chicken now, I want it to be able to fit inside my palm, not being stupid and going into the fingers too much. You just want to be sensible. So I'm going to place that on top. Place this chunky bit in there as well. Amazing. Might have to break this bit up a little bit. So, in like that. We can move it along a bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be all in, but you don't want to be stupid. You don't want to pile it on top. I could just sit here all day and pile it on top like so. You don't want to be stupid. You don't want to pile it on top. I could just sit here all day and pile it on top like so. And that would fit. But it's not being realistic. So, with this one, that would be a good sized portion to me. We're looking at probably anywhere around a palm size, maybe about 80 grams. Depends on the individual, because everybody is different. So that would go down for me as a portion of protein. So I'll stick that on my plate, like so. I've got my bits of jacket potatoes, so they might shrink in the microwave or the oven when you get it. And then, last but not least, so I've got my two bits now. So if I just show you my wife's one. Yep, oh dear. Small portion again for her, unlucky. So you'll put that down there. So then when you open it up and you're at home, you can now, if you want to, label it, colour it, do drawings on it. The more bright and more colourful it is, the funnier it is for you to look back at it and kind of get an idea of what your portion sizes would be. And last but not least, we come to your vegetables. Now we don't really need to use our hands for vegetables. You can go by your plate. And ideally, this, and because we all need to get our 5 a day, this being our portion size for me, the rest of my plate here, so the rest of this will be my vegetables. So we'll put that on the plate like so, just tip it on. Then my leftovers. That, at the moment, would be enough. I maybe be able to cook some more if I need to, but that would be a good portion for me. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that is a portion of sweet potato chicken and broccoli and rotten peas for me as an individual. So what you can do now is you can go away, draw around your hands, make it look as colourful as possible, and parents, just get a really good idea of what your children should be having for their protein and their carbohydrates, and make sure that we try our best not to overfeed and give them too much, and definitely do not give them a size of yours. Make sure they have their own, because they're individuals and they're growing. Hope you found this useful. Have some fun with it. Let me know how you get on.